Hey, how's it going, guys? Ryan here with the Dark Beard. We're going to be reviewing the aftermath of the Joker. This is part 2 to the video I made earlier, so roll the intro. Yes, folks, it's been maybe about a week or so. Well, I should have uploaded this a lot sooner, but yeah, it's a bit of a weird video because I've now downloaded an app so I can watch stuff on my phone and record it from there, so a bit of an odd video to what I normally do, but we'll see how it goes. I like to zhuzh up the content and try different stuff, so yeah, over to you, Ryan, and I'll catch you with myself doing the audio. Yeah. Ah yes, one more thing. Spoilers in the video. Should go without saying, but yeah, spoilers. I've seen the film and I'll talk about the film, so yeah, if you haven't watched it, I suggest you watch it before continuing with the video. Peace out! Gee, thanks Ryan, I appreciate the intro right there. So today, like I say, we're going to be talking about the Joker and what I actually thought of the film. So first of all, we're going to start by just watching the intro scene and we're going to go from there. Great seeing this. Puts into perspective of how we cause in society. We push people to the limits. No kindness in society. So straight off the bat there, guys, we got to see the pseudo bull bar effect in action. Him holding back his laughter. So yeah, that's an interesting point, and that plays a key part in the film because obviously that's the thing that's really started his mental health on a whole. So I was technically right about that, so I appreciate that bit. Moving on.
I have some bad news for you.
Yeah, there's the laugh.
This is the last time we'll be meeting.
However, interesting point is that he has multiple laughs throughout the film. So during the film, he has certain laughs where he's literally laughing just because other people are laughing, just to accommodate other people, sort of thing, to act normal, so to speak. Such as when he's in the comedy club. We'll see that shortly.
You don't listen, do you? You just ask the same questions every week. How's your job? Are you having any negative thoughts? All I have are negative thoughts.
Notice how she doesn't react to what he's telling her. Like, normally a psychiatrist would react to that. So point being is that a lot of this film, it's an unreliable narrator that we're listening to.
Finally, in a world where everyone thinks they can do my job, check out this guy.
When I was a little boy and told people I was going to be a comedian, everyone laughed at me. Well, no one's laughing now.
You can say that again, pal.
Very interesting part of the film. This, obviously, his mother's not well, so that sent him into a spiral. He ends up finding out shortly after this point, I believe, or it might be at this point, that he found out that Thomas Wayne might be his father. Obviously, he then finds out that he's not. He's adopted. But the crucial point about this bit is that he idolised Murray. So for him to feel that during his performance that it went well, for then Murray to then mock it, it's like his idol is officially mocking him, which is making him even worse. So it's just continuing the downward spiral, guys.
It's so awful, isn't it?
Thomas Wayne mentioned that how he's almost like an elitist in the film rather than a good guy, because obviously Thomas Wayne's always been portrayed as a very positive character, a good person, so to speak, but in this obviously he's portrayed as a upper class citizen, so to speak, but very upper class in terms of very snobby, and obviously he looks down on the low class, and he uses the term clowns which obviously that is a key point. Obviously, when I mentioned in the previous video that it was linked with like Detroit and like Manhattan and things, that is, it appears to be a fair point, because it looks like with all the garbage piled up and stuff and all the infestation of rats, it would be based in 1981, which is when the build-up happened in New York, I believe, or Manhattan or Detroit, one of the three. But that caused an uproar, obviously, in terms of the public and that. And yeah, that happened in that year, so the theory is that this happens during that time. Great scene that, by the way, just moving back, because with that particular scene, he's coming down the stairs, and all the way through the film he's going up the stairs, and it's obviously to portray the fact that it's such a climb that he has to force himself every day to put up with society and how downtrodden he is as a person. He mentions during the Murray interview at the end, like, if it was him that was on the floor dead, people would walk past him, they wouldn't bat an eye, but when it's three law brokers or accountants or whatever they may have been, like, everyone loses their minds, as Heath Ledger would put it. Like, it's just completely different. But obviously this is him coming down the stairs when he's officially turned into the Joker, shall we say. And it's such a great scene, because obviously all the way through the film it's portrayed that he's having to climb up those stairs every day, and it looks physically painful for him to do so, like such a drag. But coming down the stairs, once he's become the Joker, he's just a completely different person. He's opened up to his character, which obviously his character's dark. Like, at no point... The interesting thing with the film is that you don't side with the character, but you can understand why they've done what they've done and why they've turned and had this perception on society as a whole, because he's just been pushed to that point. Like, I mentioned before about we make our own demons in society. Like, we portray mental health in a way that's like, it's not a question that's so much asked openly in society nowadays, and it's kind of pushed to the back burner, so to speak. And it's talked about very briefly, but such as with this film, all the backlash and that, it's asking relevant questions, but it's asking questions that people aren't necessarily comfortable with, because the media is portraying as if people are going to side with the Joker, and it's going to be like people are going to go on mass murdering sprees because they agree with the Joker. People don't condone the Joker's actions. They can understand how someone that's been beaten so much throughout their lives, not just physically but mentally through the years as well, not to mention his condition that he got throughout the years of abuse from his stepfather. And obviously fathers play a key part into it. Obviously Murray turning around and in his flashbacks, shall we say, which obviously isn't necessarily a flashback, it's more of an illusion that Arthur's created. Moving on.
For my whole life, I didn't know if I even really existed. But I do. People are starting to notice.
Think this is funny? Is this a joke to you?
Murray, one small thing.
Yeah.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
That was such a fantastic scene. Obviously, throughout the build-up towards the end part of the film, obviously you're anticipating that he's going to off himself, so to speak. But obviously, when he goes into his rant and stuff about how society has just abandoned his type of people, I want to say, his people that are pushed to the brink in society, where they're just downtrodden and they're not really looked after in terms of the public, or how the public even portrays these people, sort of thing. They don't... Arthur throughout his life really appears to be a very positive person in terms of the way he's trying to be positive, he's trying to be outgoing, he's trying to get by, and he's trying to be safe while he does it, which is why he ends up getting the gun. So again, it can be relatable, but at no point do we coincide with the violence in the fact that he kills these three people. But again, you can also argue it was in self-defense. But no, it wasn't in self-defense, because come the very last murder, it's no longer... Well, actually, after the first gunshot, after he kills the first guy, the other two were pretty much ready to run, so he doesn't really give them a chance. But again, he's broke by this point. He's broke long before that. It's just a constant downhill battle with him. But with the Murray scene, obviously, he ends up, rather than taking it out on himself, and there's a particular joke that he writes down where he's, "I hope my death makes more sense than my life." That was an interesting joke, because obviously sense being money, and obviously didn't make much money as an actual Joker, shall I say? Clown, so to speak. So it's just, there's so many interweaving layers to this film. It's very, very interesting. But the end scene was just cataclysmic. It was brilliant. The way they've done it is incredible. So again, I do actually like the fact that they've made it so he inconsequentially started Batman in itself. Obviously, the fact that he started the riots that then caused that guy to obviously, well, we assume it would be, oh god, what's his name? It'll come back to me. But anyway, the guy shoots Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, and obviously that then causes Bruce to become Batman in the end. So it's like, normally you perceived in all the Joker and Batman experiences in the past that Batman is the one that creates Joker, and they always come hand in hand. But again, come the very end of the film where we see the last shot where it leaves it ambiguous as to whether it was actually all in his head or not, like a lot of the film. But I think certain parts of the film did actually happen, such as the 3 people getting killed by Arthur. And the actual scene with Murray at the end, that did actually happen, because obviously that caused the riots further on to kick off. But it was such an enjoyable film. It was very dark, very depressing, but it was so good to get a decent character, a really fantastic character bio of the Joker and how he could have possibly been made. But again, the ending leaves it open-ended in the terms of the fact that, can we believe this character and believe what he's telling us, or is it just all in his head? And again, I think some of it was real. I think a lot of it wasn't, such as his girlfriend and obviously Thomas Wayne. But obviously we then saw the picture that he turned around and was signed by TW saying you look beautiful back then, or what have you, to his mother. So that again leaves it more open-ended. Could they be stepbrothers? You could say unlikely, but again, the evidence is there. But again, he's an unlikely narrator, unreliable narrator, so we can't necessarily take what he's saying at face value. But this was a fantastic film. I do think he deserves an Oscar for his performance, because again, it just shows how beat someone can be, and how society can not necessarily give up on people intentionally, but people can seek support and not necessarily receive it. And it speaks a lot in modern day as well, because again, although we are so much more open to mental health, when it's talked about, it's only discussed to a point, and it gets to a point where where the professionals will go, right, the treatment has ended now, which it never, especially with certain mental health conditions, they never officially finish. So they're always going to be ongoing. It's just working with the tools to defeat that condition and disease of the mind, and be able to overcome it. But again, Joker shows that isn't always the case, and when society isn't giving the best to these sort of people, it can have disastrous effects on society and individuals and people that look to those individuals. Yeah.
The clown.
There we go, guys. What a fantastic film. So yes,
Website's blocked.
that is about it. That's all I'm going to leave with. And it's been an interesting little video. So I'll have to catch you on the next one, guys. Peace out.